Hi guys and gals, and welcome back to another Working Out Game video. Today's video is dedicated to some Google Spreadsheets, a little bit of an overview on the Halloween metal shop, and then the broadcast event. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to this video every single time you do. Thank you. Alright, let's jump right into it. So first things first, this is Blue's pretty much Google Spreadsheet, Blue's Clues to be specific. Member over at the SINoALICE Discord, fantastic set of people. I'd be nothing without them, alright? Shout out to all the mods, all you guys are fantastic. Alright, so this information is pretty much compiled from the JP Wiki, SINoALICE Vicario, so credits out to them if you're wondering where this information is coming from. Essentially, SINoALICE Vicario is the JP Wiki, so it's also founded by JP people who have been playing SINoALICE for, like 2 or 3. So first things first, this is support boon. The level increases, the breakpoints, how effective it is from, the difference between a 15 and 20. The difference isn't too crazy. Of course, like it's important to level your Colo 8 skills because pretty much it helps you proc certain things more often, increases, everything, those things, right? Dauntless Courage too. We already know how like all these like different support skills work. Essentially they boost the main skill, right? For the most part, that like recovery support increases, the recovery, Dauntless Courage increases the damage you deal, and then support boon pretty much increases your buffs and debuffs, to put it in a more like layman's terms, right? And then replenish magic is the one that helps you get more SP. For the most part, this is really straightforward, nothing really crazy right here. The main skill, thank you so much for creating this, because this is by far the most important part of this video and the thing that I wanted to talk about the most. You can see here, this is the formula they're pretty much using, and this is the formula originally that we saw from the JP, formulas, right? So right here, you can see this is DPS, staves, and harps and tomes. So for DPS, the difference between a level 10 and 15 skill is 35%. That's okay, like a 15% difference, that's mitigatable. But level 10 to level 20, that is an insane difference, and it's practically double. Alright, this is going to be a reoccurring theme, and of course, it's gonna be double, but it's double, but a little bit more, because 50% is definitely more than double for 22.5. Let's say it's like two and a quarter, right? So this is why some people in SINoALICE deal so much damage, is because some of the skills in particular have a level 20 like skill level, right? It doesn't matter whether the weapon itself has like high bonus stats or high stats it provides. What matters is that it is a level 20 skill, and it can pretty much use the stats that you have on your character. So for example, if your person has like 51k attack, it can extract like the 50% of the 51k attack, right? Whether it's physical or magical or what have you. That's why it's so important. Like, it's absolutely amazing. Stabs, you can see it again, level 10 27%, level 15 45%, almost half. But then level 10 27%, level 20 65%. It's not even on the same spectrum. Alright, so pretty much the skills that you level 20 are, for stabs in particular, staves, it is the skills that are guaranteed to hit 2 people. Like, for the most part, everything else can be like level 10 or 15. Of course, ideally everything's level 20, 1.5 heals, which is pretty much 1 and 2 allies, that's 1.5. But anything that's guaranteed to hit 2, you're gonna have it on your grid for a long time. Just level it to 20. Like, you are saving yourself a lot of like grief later on. It's gonna help your members so much, especially when ogre drops and you just need to spam heals, right? Harps and tome, self-explanatory as well. 36%, level 15 52%, and then level 20 85%. It's not even on the same level. Like, this is why there are some like minstrels and sorks that buff and debuff so hard, and this you can stack it with the demon or nightmare multipliers. Like, for example, what some people like to do in the very beginning, they will have their red skills, like for example UFO, right? That pops, and they will cast their red skills, and they will have their skill at level 15 or level 20, and you will deal so many buffs, so many debuffs, that the enemy team cannot even keep up. And this is why, like, it's so important, more even for minstrels and sorks. than it is for DPS to have level 20 skills. Of course, DPS, you know, we can have level 20 skills in the end game where your vanguards are pretty much neck and neck. You know, there's a 10 to 20k difference in like CP or points. Supports are pretty much going to carry the match, and the difference between a good and bad Sorc and a good and bad Minstrel will pretty much carry the fight. Alright, if you didn't know, Sorcs have the most complicated role, and this is why Sorcs are pretty much like the hardest class to pick up and probably the most technical role in all of SINoALICE. DPS, we kind of just smack things, and clerics, they pretty much save their stabs or staves when, you know, things get really close. It's really like minstrels and Sorcs, you know, shout out to y'all. I love y'all. Like, you guys saved the match. Alright, let's keep continuing. You know, we have proc rates right here if you want to look at them for different skills, right? And then the skill level upgrades, gear level upgrades, armor skill effectiveness, Shinma, you know, how much effectiveness it brings out. And then, you know, the buff debuff like formula where it's like, hey, you know, there's attenuation and all that stuff, right? If you're wondering how heals work, feel free to check out Tachi's video. And it shows you pretty much defense, whether it's physical or magical, will pretty much scale how well your heal will go off, right? And next, let's go over the SINoALICE armor tracker, thanks to Keskaowl over on the Snow Discord, Comric Retribution. Alright, we're only going to go over this tab because the rest is pretty much fluff to, you know, incorporate it into the database. So this is pretty much like a nice way to see like what armor affects what. Like, so for example, if I unequip like the girl set and then I equip the Bonnie set, you can see here like these are the things that I'm going to get. And I think this is based off of the highest defense multiplier, so you're pretty much picking out the gear with like the highest values. So for example, I have 6,944 defense, 8,572 magical defense, which is really important because, like, you know, you want to have more magical defense lately because we are in a magical meta, because there are more nightmare classes like more in meta because they're just available. And of course the physical, it would be more balanced out once we get half nightmares that are, you know, physical. It won't matter later on, but it'll be a while until we get there. So we'll be in a magical meta-ish for a little bit, right? Next, let's cover the actual SINoALICE AP EXP. This will roll into our Halloween like metal overview. But shoutouts to Kyreth, Gazed, Farah, Klanoic, and Guild Amaranth, Sulfur, Lubac. This I've actually gone over in like my older videos, but you know, why not revisit it? So this in particular, you can see it right there, Festival of Deceit Madness, which is pretty much the Halloween event, right? And this is going to show you what are the must get. So if you scroll all the way to the right, and it'll show you like, hey, which ones will give you like the most medals and everything, but it shows you which are the must gets and, you know, should gets, amazings, all that, like different breakpoints and values for everything. Pretty much the must gets are like Twilight Crystals, Purification Tickets, emotes, and then the weapon, right? Because, you know, it gives you more medals. It's also a decent weapon, I think. Is it a weapon? I'm not sure. Silence of Souls. Anyways, those are like pretty much like the must gets. You know, get the bird mask as well, that's a must get. I would always get like the dragon shackles for the most part, so those are really cool. You know, this is a fantastic reference, and at first glance it'll even show you like what events are going to be occurring, so that's super amazing. You know, all the different tiers, whether which one's the best one to farm, etc, etc, you know, for like the armor event and everything. And then you can see when the Squirming Darkness or the Sword EXP, Army XP, which one's like the best one. Obviously Advance is the best one, so feel free to farm that one. And of course, last but not least, also make sure you farm intermediate on the armor event, right? Like if you're not looking for specific things, you know, intermediate's the best way to go, right? It is the most efficient for both T2 and T3 for armors, right? And then let's go to the last thing on Twitter. If you guys didn't know, we're gonna have a broadcast on October 28th. This is, I believe, 3 p.m. PST. Feel free to you know, correct me in the comments. You guys always do, so I always appreciate that. Thank you so much. And you know, we will go over, like, hopefully Kat comes in and like tells us the future of SINoALICE just like they did last time. I'm not sure if we'll see, you know, Steph and Seraphina. They were awesome, and of course Blasphemous Waffle from, you know, the official Discord. All of them were amazing, so we'll see. I haven't seen like anyone else like retweet anything, so maybe as the days get closer we'll get there. I don't know if they can top themselves, because a last broadcast event they gave us 500 crystals. So let's see if we can, usually there'll be like a social media campaign where it's like, hey, retweet the broadcast event and everything, and we'll get X amount of crystals. So hopefully they do something like that again, and they'll have like in-game or in broadcast things to help us, earn more Twilight crystals. So I'm hoping at least for 300 Twilight crystals from this event, but there's a part of me wishing that it's 500. We'll see if it's also actually live or if it's just like, a video. We'll see. But for the most part, like, I'm super excited to see the broadcast. I still love SINoALICE, still one of the best gachas, not because of like the features or the gameplay even. It's just because this is one of the most communicative teams I've ever seen for a gacha. They give us broadcast events, they actually communicate with us, they're so expressive on Twitter. So just from like a developer's standpoint, I would say SINoALICE wins, just because they're so transparent with everything and they just give us so much compensation for everything. I'm not trying to white knight them. Obviously the game isn't perfect. Please give me the ability to log in with my Google Play account from my phone and, emulators. Like, really annoying. Please, that needs to be modernized. Tectone went over this, and like, I feel like those small quality of life things would improve this game to a next level. All right, next level. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next one.